Thanks very much, gentlemen, for coming in to speak to us today about the Built Environment Professions Export Council. And I just wanted to start with you, Jonathan, and if you could give us a picture of what is the genesis of this council, what is the idea behind it, and who comprises this council?
In the past, companies have tended to go in isolation and to do work on their own. The projects in Africa are becoming very large, they're becoming very complex. Large PPP projects require a huge variety of disciplines and professions and services. So in order to compete with that, South Africans really need to form large consortia, work across industry groups. And BEPEC was formed with the objective of enabling an environment and directing that South African effort.
Membership is corporate, so individuals cannot join. And the Export Council has secured the support and involvement of Consulting Engineers South Africa, covering the consulting engineering fraternity, the South African Institute of Architects, the South African Association of Quantity Surveyors, the Association of Construction Project Managers, and lately also we are pleased to have the Institute of Landscape Architects. And members or companies can only join if they are members of those what we call voluntary associations.
Underpinning this, Jonathan, is a feeling that the market demand for professional services and South African very well acknowledged skills in these areas is growing, not just in the developed markets and not just in the developed markets coming into Africa, but there's also an opportunity in the developing world opening up.
Yes, absolutely. The developing world itself has combined resources that are very attractive to especially the fast-growing BRIC countries in the world that are taking a huge interest in Africa now. But these developing countries that have those vast resources and potential wealth don't have the infrastructure to export and to trade effectively. And the lack of infrastructure is really an impediment to their economic growth, to their ability to be able to utilize and exploit their resources to grow and to alleviate poverty in their own countries. So the engineering opportunities in order to assist them and in order to facilitate the process in the rest of Africa to grow further is really dependent on the engineering industry to facilitate that growth, to facilitate the initiation and the development of those infrastructure projects. So there's an opportunity for professional services, be it engineering, be it transaction advisory services, across the range of all the built environment professions.
The project pipeline, as you say, is there. Funding is always a challenge, but which countries, sectors, geographies are you really wanting to target?
Look, the natural markets for the built environment professionals from South Africa is sub-Saharan Africa and the Middle East. However, our figures show that we regularly export to other regions than sub-Saharan Africa as well. So in sub-Saharan Africa, what we have done is, as an export council, we are focusing on the spatial development initiatives, which the NEPAD initiative has adopted as one of its key programs. In 2007, ballpark figures, fees earned from exports of consulting engineering services amounted to just short of R1 billion. In 2008, we had a bumper year. Our firms really did well, and it trebled. It went up to 3 billion, almost 3 billion rand, to African and markets outside of Africa. And clearly, with the financial crisis, we have, in the first 6 months of 2009, it has fell back to 2007 levels, but still higher than 2007 levels.
Jonathan, the R word, the recession, was mentioned. Has that at all affected the aspirations for this group and this organisation?
The effect of the recession in South Africa is basically to make our member firms and associations more serious about exporting their services into the rest of Africa, in order to offset the cyclical effect that's likely to occur in South Africa and the further lag, can I say, in the recessionary effects on the engineering industry. In order for growth, in order for stability, in order to offset the recessionary effects in South Africa, especially post-2010, all of our members are looking a lot more seriously into exporting their services than in the past.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you for coming into the studio.